The President has met with business lobby groups to get their inputs ahead of the State of the Nation address. Now, to discuss this further, we're joined by Kganki Matabane, who's the CEO of the Black Business Council. Dr. Matabane, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, Treasury regulations are very clear that accounting officers for the departments must settle all contractual obligations and pay all money owing, including intergovernmental claims, within a prescribed period or even an agreed period of time. From your call, it is clear that this is not happening.
Good evening, Bongwe and the viewers. Maybe let me start with the problem that we're trying to solve. Firstly, as a country, we have the highest unemployment in the world. We've got 10 million young people sitting at home doing nothing. Out of the 10 million, we've got 3 million with qualifications. So we've got the graduates, people with BSc, B accounting, B LLB, and so on, who are sitting at home. So one thing that we cannot afford is to increase these numbers. And then we're increasing these numbers basically by not paying small business on time, and also by not paying them the money that is owed for the past 5 or so years. Government owes small business more than 5 billion for the previous years. We're not talking about even the current ones. So if you don't pay small businesses, what they do, they'll close the shop, they'll retrench employees and add to the unemployment that we already have. They can't trade because they can't get a tax clearance certificate, so they can't expand, and we're just basically shooting ourselves on the foot. So we can't afford that, and hence we're raising this issue. We're trying to solve a national problem that is basically taking us to a crisis. We're in a crisis now as we speak of unemployment. So going back to your issue there, I think what we're raising in law is there. But there's no consequence management. The people who are found not to have paid a small business on time, they're not dealt with. They're sitting there, nothing happens to them. So those are the issues that we raised with the president, and it also includes corruption, because some of these things we suspect are done deliberately, so that someone will then approach you and say, "No, I can speed up your invoice, but pay me 10% without doing anything."
Now, is it only just the issue of corruption and also, the issue of no consequence management that is only at play here? Because the reason I ask you this is I remember in December 2009, Cabinet resolved that the departments must implement mechanisms to ensure that payments to creditors are effected within 30 days. They said 30 days from receiving an invoice. And I remember in 2010, in fact, as a journalist covering a story, looking at how National Treasury had put out this communique that suggested that all institutions and accounting officers must make sure that invoices are paid within 30 days, and saying that there should not be financial misconduct in this particular area. Are these the only reasons that are at play right now, corruption as well as, what you've mentioned? Or do you suspect that there's something more at play here? Because this is really worrying to have to deal with, especially during a pandemic.
Yeah, I suspect the other thing, they say, maybe the people, some of the people in leadership do not appreciate the crisis we're facing. And hence, we raised this matter with the president because we realized it's not happening. And we even suggested to the president, and he promised that he's going to look at it, to say, National Treasury must, before they transfer the budget to departments, they must deduct that money that is owed to suppliers and pay to suppliers directly, because remember, National Treasury is got the central database. They've got the details of these people who have been owed. So we said they must investigate the legalities of doing it, so that instead of paying departments and state-owned enterprises their own budget allocation, they deduct that money and then pay it directly to the small businesses, because that will also invigorate a lot of economic activity in the country. Because that money, when it comes, it have to be to pay the employees of those companies, so that there will be a lot of economic activity in the country.
It must be of little comfort for the Black Business Council if you're seeing money squandered through corruption, like looking at the recent SIU report when it comes to PPE procurement, as well as the State Capture Commission's report, among others, and you still are sitting with business owners that are not getting what's due to them.
Yes, and one thing that we emphasized in the meeting is, firstly, we need to stop talking and start acting. But secondly, we must have timelines. Because, for example, when we say, no, we'll attend to this, it can be attended in 20 years' time. So we're saying to the president, when you deliver the State of the Nation address, we're expecting you to put timelines. So, for example, if you are saying pay all the suppliers, maybe put a 6 months timeline and say, after 6 months, I want this to be sorted. But every month I need to see a progress report, because then you will be able to see those who are not doing it properly and then those who are doing it. Coming back to your question, we were very, very concerned when the money that's supposed to be used for service delivery is being used for corruption. And then hence we're very, very, very we came very hard on those ones who are saying certain companies must not face the law. For example, companies like Bain and Company, they have actually paid money to SARS. They paid 200 million to SARS. So you can't just wake up and pay money. It means you are guilty. So those type of companies must be blacklisted from doing business with the state. All of them, without exception. Because law must apply to all of us, no matter who you are.
And very briefly, in 10 seconds, what you've just described now is going to make it difficult for a country to see now a new crop of black billionaires.
Yeah, we spoke about that issue with the president. We said to President Ramaphosa, the current crop of black billionaires and black millionaires were created during the Thabo Mbeki era, during former President Thabo Mbeki era. We have not seen any sustainable black businesses that are created. So we made a suggestion to the president to say, why can't we take the money that we put in enterprise development funds and create one umbrella big fund for the country with that money? People can still claim their BE points. And then we administer that money like that fund, we administered like we have administered the Solidarity Fund, where you have government people and business people, but majority being business people, looking after this fund and disperse the funds to be able to fund black business people, women businesses, youth businesses, businesses owned by people living with disabilities, to acquire these businesses so that some of these businesses are not closing.
All right.
And then we can create jobs and then grow the economy. That's basically what our kids want.
All right. We'll see if these make it into the State of the Nation address when the President addresses the nation. But thank you so much for your time. That was Kganki Matabane, who is the CEO of the Black Business Council.